CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
Empress Gold is putting on a show in kaleidoscoping seafoam, and they're pulling out all the stops.
That's a lot. Do we have to go to a party?
You want us to spend money on this military campaign we're trying to run? We're doing this on the cheap.
What if we get +1 tickets? So we have to show up as part of this other person's party?
For whatever reason, somehow in the Calazar franchise, there are a lot of characters that happen to look like Char from the Gundam franchise in our universe, and we're all dressed as that.
We invite you to proceed to our secret testing facilities, sites Absinthe and Bordeaux and Cointreau, to witness the fell technologies that lie within. Take note that we will be monitoring your performance, and your performance will be directly tied to the intelligence and data that we deem you qualified and sufficiently clearanced to access. However, we ask that you do not share this information lightly, that you keep your findings close to your chest, because, as we all know, while we have taken the utmost precautions, there is every chance, nay, almost certainty, that covert operatives from Sank 5's Silver Jackals lurk among us. And in fact, we have unfortunately had to take the precaution of concealing some of our data under the utmost quarantine until we can have confirmation that these covert elements have been routed out. Site Cointreau is off limits unless you can present the full data authentication and call signs of any and all of the rogue Silver Jackals who have infiltrated this most serious occasion. With that, I will let you begin. Please enjoy the festivities and enjoy the tests of your valor and mettle that await you in the 3 sites. But please, do not let your guard down. And please, do not let me leave you without taking this opportunity to thank our sponsors in the defense and aviation industries. And a screen flashes up behind her with a list of non-Calazar, real-world Exodon defense companies.
So just to confirm, the Sank 5 Silver Jackals, that's like a Calazar squad, and this is kind of like a big game of, like a hidden role game where we've got to find them out. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. From what you gather through the LARP speak, there is some sort of technology in Absinthe, Bordeaux, and Cointreau that attendees can test and will somehow have their performance on scored. This score will give them access to further sort of intelligence and teasers relating to a big reveal at midnight. You can only access Site Cointreau if you can prove that you've spotted all of the in-universe Calazar villain spies, Sank 5's Silver Jackals.
Is that the VIP area that we were talking about?
It sure sounds like it.
Okay, I have a tactic that I'd like to employ.
Is it violence?
In order to win at this game. No, actually, it's bribery.
Oh. That's another good one.
Yeah. I'd like to find whoever is on the door of Site Cointreau, give them some money to let us in.
So you approach Site Cointreau, which is the one in the sort of spire above the atrium.
Like how tall is this spire? Is it like a high-rise or like just a big like mast or something?
Bigger, like a high-rise. Like you would guess that it goes like 5 or so stories up. And you are met with an immediate complication. Yeah, there is a guy there, but this is only step 1. You can see that the way up into the tower is a spiral staircase, and you can see that at regular intervals there are these like laser grid scanners. It's like sort of classic Victory Road approach. At each checkpoint, you're meant to present the details of one of the silver jackals. And you can only get through if you have enough to get to open all of them.
What does the top of the tower look like? Is it like a viewing deck? Is it a, spinning restaurant? Are there windows? Is it a barricaded, boarded room?
You'd only be able to see from the outside. There's this spiral staircase up, and eventually at some point it goes up through the glass ceiling and like vanishes into like this sort of concrete darkness. It disappears from view. From the outside, it looked like the tower broadened out at the top, sort of like some kind of observatory.
So it could be a revolving pizza restaurant.
It could be.
Immediate inclination is that we try and attack it from the roof instead.
Are we attacking things?
Well, approach it from the roof. Maybe, go to the bathroom or something, get on the roof of the community center, use like a rappel or something to try and get at it from above instead, because I don't anticipate them having as much land mechanisms on the roof.
I'd rather just keep our cover and just bribe them,
So we're gonna have to bribe, 5 consecutive guards?
I mean, I think we can abstract that out, right? Just say, here is my bribe. This constitutes me slipping a certain amount of money or useful material object to, 5 guards or whatever.
Oh, to be clear, there's a guy at the bottom, but then there's these 5 barcode scanners basically where you're meant to put the details of a spy in. So I'm not saying bribery doesn't work. I'm just saying there is a point at which bribery is not fictionally applicable.
We could bribe to get Michael in.
Because presumably there's going to be a list of who these are for comparing against. If Mike could get close to some kind of mainframe, he could try hacking in and getting the data that way.
I just think the guards are going to need to get in there, right? Just pay them for whatever override system they have. Take it, go in.
Right, okay, I get you.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I do like that. If nothing else, they've got to have something to get in case of, fire or whatever, right?
Yeah. Occam's razor.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what Occam's razor is, but you know what I mean. I'm taking the most direct route to the target. Listen, I don't like Empress Gold very much. And I killed the last person that I had a big grudge on, so I gotta have a new grudge.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We could at least have a look to see what's in these sites as well. Maybe it's easy for us.
I mean, yeah, but...
I mean, y'all want to.
I mean, to be clear, all of these sites seem like they have some intelligence. It's a question of if you want to, quickly handle the small stuff or immediately go for Empress Gold and the thing that's behind the most security.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we split up?
Yeah. So that there could be interesting reconnaissance that is not at Cointreau, is what you're saying there, potentially.
Yes.
Yeah, right? And it might be helpful for some of the people here to be playing along, but, I'm good.
Okay, who has a move that they want to make?
I would like to walk up to the guard.
Mm-hmm.
And consort with him.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
Maybe we'll get Ojo-sama Julius back a little bit later, but I think this is sort of I think he's visibly dropping the mask as a tactic, is what he's doing, right? As he walks up, he's got his stupid fan in front of his face, and then he sort of drops it very unceremoniously. He's hello, I imagine you're getting paid well for this gig. However, I know you're not getting paid enough. It's because I've done this sort of work before, and it's never enough for the sorts of bullshit these people are interested in. I know that you likely have some method of getting in there, and I would like to get in there, and let me simply say that I have priorities that are not to be held up by playing whatever silly little game these people are doing tonight. So, here's how it is. You let me in, and I'll make it worth your time.
The guard slowly, silently exhales, and without looking at you, with barely moving her mouth, just says, "What have you got?"
I think I have money. I think what I have is just a stack of cash in a money clip.
Okay.
I have a purse in character. No, a clutch. And I just take out, I don't know what money looks like in this universe. Whatever it looks like, I'm going to give him some, and I'm going to spend one of our materiel to do it.
You said consort. This sounds more like sway.
I mean, I'm not lying.
No, I suppose you're
Every
not.
single thing I just said was true, and I am trying to create genuine solidarity with this underpaid security guard.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure. Alright, yeah, this is desperate standard.
Okay. I've gotten very good, because of your sort of, reasonable insistence on the difference between consort and sway at, RPing my negotiations so that I am not technically lying to anybody. So thank you. Is Mike in a place to help with this one?
Logistically, yes. I'm on four stress at the moment. That'd be another 2, so I'm getting low on available stuff.
Getting up there.
Getting through this seems like a good and useful thing to be hitting, right?
I'm gonna push, so that's another point, but I'd like to use that to go from desperate to risky. Yeah, what would be collateral dice look like right now?
Could start taking more of that vermin clock. This guy's unionized, and he lets his friends know that, hey, I got a little bit of a payoff, let's meet up and we can split it.
I actually think it might be a separate clock for the early bird and co getting alerted, which I think is shorter. I think that's 4 o'clock.
Took it twice?
At once.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
say
that's
go for
fine.
that. That's very
Yeah,
generous.
whatever. Yeah.
Do you want that assist?
No, you save it. We'll probably want it later. When we have to, kill our way out or something.
Potentially.
That is a 6. What's up?
It's a 1-6-4.
1, a 6, and a 4.
Wow, okay. I think this guard quietly palms the money clip. Well, okay, so this place is locked up tight. Only the orderly's a civilian. Guards like me, we're all in on the inside. Everybody's potentially compromised. The way security works, we need to go up in 3s. It's authenticated to each of us individually. Each of us only has a third of the information we need. I can get you my third. So basically, what they're saying is, the guards are not necessarily civilian hires. The guards may also be members of the early birds, and as such, they're more bought in than you might think. You got lucky, it's not necessarily that easy to bribe them. And their own event is being kept to some extent secure from them as well. So, no guard has a single override, but each of them has some of the spy info that you need to pass the scans on the staircase. So, essentially, this guard's given you everything they have, but it's still not everything that you need. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I got a third of this.
Yeah, So that's 2 ticks in the Site Cointreau access clock. That's a 2 of 6. And also, because of your collateral, 1 tick in the alert clock.
Julius pats the guard on the shoulder and says, "Thank you, you've been very helpful." Stupid fan, back up, sweeps away, and I think probably sort of throat mics to True and Ipse that they're gonna have to play Amogus.
Yeah, speaking of which, True and Ipse, where are you right now?
Well, if we're going to play Among Us, I think we should just go and investigate the other sites to start with and actually see what's going on there. That
It's worthwhile checking out.
gives us a chance to also just observe the crowd and see if anyone's acting dramatically suspiciously. I don't know.
I believe the colloquialism is sus there, I'd say.
You're right, acting suspiciously.
I believe you have to be looking for folks acting as a sussy backer, to my knowledge.
Cut this. Cut it, please, for the love of God.
Include it at the beginning of every episode of Terminal Company.
Last time on.
So, True, do you prefer absinthe or Bordeaux?
Oh, good question. I think True's an absinthe kind of woman.
Okay. Shall we both go to absinthe and see what's going on
That
there?
sounds good. Then we can help each other out, right?
Exactly.
I also recommend that we start at site absinthe.
Okay, thanks, my conscience.
Conscience is a liability. Says
Who
Barnaby.
is talking right now?
It's Barnaby.
Doing his...
All right.
He's doing bits.
Like, maybe Barnaby's really good at Among Us. Like, we don't know.
I mean,
That's a good point. He's clearly a millennial.
All right. The three of you proceed to site absinthe. And what do you find here?
A large sign which says, "Hello, True. The sussy person is," and a name. We did it. We solved the puzzle.
You enter into a long firing range. It's deliberately styled, you guess, after some kind of thing in the show. Like, there's a scoreboard with like characters from the series written on it and like scrawled with like in-character banter between those from the rivals about like beating each other's score at the range or whatever. The cutouts from the range are shaped like famous RVs, civilians. But you can see that scoreboard is changing in real time as attendees are maybe not doing so hot so far, but I think as you enter, one of them like knocks off the bottom spot on the leaderboard and like whoops with joy, but then like sustains themselves and just like salutes as they dismount from the weapons range and walk away. And yeah, the weapon that you see at the range, it looks like a sort of long, pointed, like it has a spear tip at the end. There's like a glowing, bright blue line along the side of it. It looks like some sort of almost railgun, but when it fires, there's almost a screaming noise, and there's just this bolt of, you can almost see it rippling, this bluish projectile. The gun, it seems incredibly hot. The gun is smoking, the air's rippling and distorting around it as it fires. This seems to be some kind of plasma cannon, but to get the best intel, you'd have to give it a spin.
I'm really tempted to be like, no thanks, I brought my own.
Oh, yeah.
That's really sort of a True's like approach to life, is no thanks, I brought my own.
Yeah, exactly. Both in chili and guns.
Have you got some dinner with you, True?
Well, yeah, of course. I don't leave home without it.
That's what's in that case.
That's what it's filled entirely with chili.
I don't care for that.
Anyway, I'm using my enormous gun in this.
Wait, you are?
Yeah, fuck it.
How?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, I more just mean, what is your intent? Because you won't get scored because you're not using the weapon that they put there for you. You won't find out more about the weapon because you are not using the weapon.
What effect? Okay, so my weapon has elemental nature.
Yes?
What I'm thinking is I could just set my weapon to be outputting the same kind of energy as the plasma cannon, and then use long reach instead because, well, I'm better with long reach and could use... maybe I could use their quirks. Unclear. I'm at pilot scale, so potentially not.
Wait, okay, so you're ceding the chance to learn anything about that specific weapon for the benefits of presumably doing incredibly well on the firing range because you're using your own sentient weapon.
Yes.
Cool. Yep.
And there's nothing to stop Ipse doing.
Yeah,
I'll go
something
use
to
learn about the other.
I'll
the
go
other
use
gun.
the house gun.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. Can we do it as a contest?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Queensberry rules. No shooting below the belt. No touching of the hair or face. Okay. So I have long reach at pilot scale. I'm thinking I'm checking off presumably like an elemental nature or specialized nature. Either, in some way long reach is configured to output the same kind of damage as the plasma gun.
You might need to observe it shooting a couple of times first, and then use the classic element of Laser Quest in order to...
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. She chooses a periodic element, laser. It says periodic or historical, so I'm thinking maybe like electricity or something, or, lava, lightning.
All right.
Thunder.
All right, I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. I guess,
You know what's wild? True doesn't have any ranks in Hunt.
What the fuck?
Well...
Can only use gun the size of a building.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And, the gun's doing a lot of the work there.
True can't use a scope. True can only use like a precise mathematical calibration system.
Okay, so what I do, I'm going to do a setup action for Ipse, and then use Hook to spend Spark to change a setup action's result to a 6.
Well, they might also roll a 6.
I'd be real surprised if I rolled a 6, but it's not impossible, I suppose.
Yeah, so hold on. So you're going to change your setup action to a 6?
Yes. I'm doing a setup action for Ipse. Ipse will then do the high score. We can find out who the sussy folks are. We can win the minigame and also potentially learn something about the gun.
Yes.
How does you firing long reach set things up for Ipse?
I'm, shot pulling. I'm using long reach. I'm, popping the targets myself, and I'm calling out to Ipse. Like, maybe I have Ipse's vision in my HUD as well, and I'm like, a little to the left. Now that target moves. Yeah, it goes in a northeasterly direction. You're going to want to account for the wind, despite the fact that this is a very short firing range and this is a plasma cannon.
And presumably long reach is able to help with that because of...
That's also a good point.
Yeah,
Reach would also pipe in at this point, I think.
And that would be, you're getting more information than perhaps somebody else would with just using a gun, like one of the house guns, right? So.
Yes, 100%. How does that sound to you, Elspeth?
Yeah, that works. If anything, I'd like to expand on it a bit more. I think there's probably some sort of like AR glasses or viewfinder fitted to the gun Ipse has that like makes the targeting more difficult. Like there's an AR overlay on all of these cutouts, so they also move a little in the AR vision to add further complexity to their literal manual motion. And I feel like you probably have an advantage because I think you might be able to see that with long reach, but you can also, because you're not mounted in the plasma cannon, you can compare and contrast it with what the actual physical targets are doing.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Neat. I'm still going to roll it because who knows, maybe okay, this cannot be better than anything I would already do, but I'm going to try it anyway. Mm-hmm. Do we think that the level 1 harm detached interferes with this?
Yes, because you're communicating with Ipse.
Sure.
Yeah, that's valid. Desperate, limited. Okay, so it's a 1, but then I turn it to a 6.
Yeah, and I don't think effect is as relevant for a setup action, so you decide... I believe it's you decide whether people working from this take improved position or improved effect.
Dealer's choice. What would you rather?
It's hard to tell. I don't even know. Can I ask what position I'd be in?
Yeah, you would be in like a desperate standard.
Can I ask how is this desperate? Like, what are the consequences for me messing up on the gun range?
The answer is that you're already under a lot of scrutiny.
That is reasonable.
So this will be about doing it quickly before they can get a bead on.
Yeah, or it's not about doing.
We are doing
badly.
Something kind of weird.
Yeah, this is true.
So
yeah, we're definitely cheating at this game. I want to make that clear.
All right.
That is true.
Yeah, this is not about doing badly on the gun range so much as like
not being dragged down by security first.
It's about doing well in a way that doesn't attract attention.
Oh,
Okay, and can I ask, am I going to be rolling something like struggle here to do this?
I think this room is long enough, and this is like an artillery cannon. I think this is probably Hunt.
If it had been Bombard, I think I'd have screamed just now.
Oh, sure.
No.
Yeah, you really shouldn't have sent me to do this. I'm not good at hunting either.
How's your stress looking?
I can stress myself for this and get a whole die, you know? Yeah, okay, seeing as I've got bad odds, I'll improve the position. That seems like the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, so I'm gonna push myself. I want to say, while I'm doing this, I also would want to make an interface roll to try and understand the gun a little bit, but we can roll that separately, I guess. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna roll to hunt first.
Is there anything else we can do to get you some more dice? Like a
Is it collateral?
Or help? Can
you also help after you do the setup?
There's nothing to say you can't. I think it's more about fictionally
that's what I'm
doing
asking.
one thing to set up and one thing to help simultaneously.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just roll it with one die. That's fine.
It'll go great.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a collateral or?
Yeah, I could ask that. Yeah.
We attract the attention of the referee because we're clearly cheating and doing nothing to hide the fact.
I mean, it could be an alert tick, right? Like, that seems... Loath as I am for putting ticks into 4-step negative clocks.
Yeah, but there's only one tick in it so far, isn't there?
Yeah, I think that an alert tick feels like a reasonable collateral here.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yep. That's a 5.
A 1 and a 5, so...
Yep.
Yay!
Ooh-wee.
I mean, what does this look like? How well do you think that Ipse acquits himself in this particular artillery test?
This is the fact that actually I do end up wanting to take some time with this, which I think makes sense for why the alert might go up, but people could have time to notice what we're doing here. I am definitely, taking my time to adjust and, line up the shots very deliberately, which is also me trying to cover for the fact that I'm trying to analyze the gun while also using it.
Yeah, I think that you get, a reasonably good score. I think you definitely appear on the leaderboard just because, you're a pilot. Even if you don't have, your dots in Hunt or whatever, you have significantly more training at this than a lot of the other people attending here. But I think you definitely attract some attention. There's, you hear, a few cries of outrage and confusion in the crowd because of the fairly blatant help you are getting from True. But then you also hear some people say, you hear at least one person say, it's in character for one bitten, but not so much Ion 6. So you do definitely attract some attention, and you do, upon receiving your score, get, on your tablet or your personal device or whatever, you get sent some intelligence about the weapon, although it's less its specifications, what it does. There's a little bit of that. There's cool numbers for gun nerds to get excited over, but it's also just fun facts, this weapon, fully sized, would be able, with one shot, to be able to level approximately a 100 meter square surface area with each firing, which does actually provide you with some significant information, because that said full-sized, this is a scaled-down prototype for people to fire. They're hinting that the real version is bigger. If the same is also true of the missile launcher and Gatling gun in the atrium, then that is concerning. As you and True leave the firing range, Barnaby is ready to greet you and just says, lateral thinking. I'm impressed. You hear another voice behind you say, I think that the gulls are going to fly tonight. Don't you? And it's that guy who was bothering Julius and Michael earlier. Underhanded tactics. I see what you're doing.
Occurs to me that gulls could arguably be vermin.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I don't know if you've noticed, but that woman over there, the one with the insectoid limb harness, the one making all the clacking noises. Yes, and the ball gown as well, yes. I think that she might be causing trouble. I'm not sure how, but I think it might be a good idea to get her waylaid somewhat. You catch my drift?
I think I understand your intention.
Good. I think it would be easier for everyone if something happened to befall her. How that might happen is obviously something that's completely beyond me. I wouldn't know anything about that. True. You are the one member of the squad who I think is in a position to realise who this is.
Oh, go for it.
Because this guy is, like, nominally in disguise, nominally cosplaying, but is doing it in that sort of, like, I'm putting in a decent amount of effort, but not really trying thing. This is Vermilion Steel. This is the actor who was kidnapped by the vermin in your first mission.
Oh, who you sort of replaced, True.
Yes.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Yes, I sure did, huh?
So this guy is a member of CalazCon, who last you heard of was kidnapped by the vermin.
I mean, again, someone in an insectoid outfit does make me think that could be someone from the vermin, although maybe that's too blunt of a metaphor.
And yeah, now here he is suggesting that you are somehow allied and would have an interest in dealing with this woman with the sort of spider arms.
Can I make a survey roll to observe the woman with the spider arms and check for potential concealed weapons and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think you could do that. I'm going to be nice and say that you can pick a benefit from the setup action, because the atmosphere is still a little bit disturbed from the stunt that you and True pulled.
Okay. What's my position in effect?
Without the setup action, it would be Desperate Standard.
Let's do desperate, right? So, increase the effect.
Alright.
It'll be fine. That's 2 2s. Okay, that was not fine.
It wasn't fine.
It was not fun.
Okay. First, this is taking time. I'm going to vermin assault clock again. Second, I'm going to tell you something, Ipse. I'm going to tell you this thing that you have discovered, and we are going to have to bear in mind that it is something you discovered as a result of rolling 2 2s on a desperate roll. Your friend Vermilion Steel has the right read. Vermilion Steel, as a former captive of the vermin, is trying to discreetly, without endangering himself, point out members of the vermin. He doesn't want to be seen going to the guards, so he's disguising it as small talk. You can see it in the tells of this spidery woman that he's pointing at, the way she's furtively glancing, the way she's constantly checking her devices as if she's looking for communication. You're confident that what Vermilion Steel is implying is correct. This spider woman is a vermin plant preparing for their assault.
Cool. I'm sure we can act on that information with no problems ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Woman is a problem. Got it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How much Amogus knowledge do we have?
Well, it feels like I'm playing a new game of Amogus now.
Yeah, you've entered New Game Plus Amogus.
Mm-hmm.
New Game Plus Amogus.
Not for whom the Amogus, for the Amogus, Gus is for thee.
Did any of this affect our Contra access? Do we score well on the game?
That is a good point. Yes, I will tick that once. Vermilion Steel looks to you and True and says, yeah, you see it too, right? So, what are we going to do about it? Meanwhile, Julius and Michael, what's your next move?
Alright, Michael. It seems
Julius.
as though we are going to need to engage with the nonsense, unless there's another guard around you can see.
Looking around, is there a guard around we can see that we can bribe? I'm assuming probably not.
I mean, there might be, but I feel like you would probably take reduced effect if you tried that, and also, I think that Julius only had the one bribe.
Yeah, I think...
It's fair. Yeah.
I think Michael is also interested in using his, hacking abilities to see if we can get somewhere as well, right? That seems like a reasonable play to try. I mean, should we at least have a look to see what's happening in Site Bordeaux and like see if we can get close to some kind of like, as has been stated before, like if there's anything pinging on Michael's like tools, if we're close to some kind of node that could be directly accessed, that's also a thing to keep on the eye out for. But let's see what's up with Site Bordeaux.
All right, you enter Site Bordeaux. Site Bordeaux, you soon realise, goes down a long set of steps. If Site Quantra is up in the sky, Site Bordeaux is down in like the basement. And you enter into what, again, another reference to Calazar that I'm not sure you're getting. Looks like some sort of underground fighting ring. Like there's almost like parodically stereotypical version of like cool underground dangerous music playing. There's a cage in the middle. There's a baying crowd like packed right up to the edges of it. And in the center, you see with visors over their faces, warded only by a worryingly discreet health and safety sign pinned above the door you entered, are two people fighting with light swords, beam sabers.
What, scales down for a pilot scale?
Yes, scaled down to like greatsword size, not like rapier size.
Well, I've got 2 points in struggle and level 2 harm, and you've got 1 point in struggle. So it doesn't matter which of us does this.
Nope, I do not have 1 point in struggle. I have 1 point in wreck.
Wrong thing. Oh, okay, it's me then. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, Micah goes. Well, Julius, I've got some good news and some bad news for you. The good news is that you're going to be able to work out some frustration. The bad news is that it's not going to be without risk.
All right, Julius saunters up to wherever registration is and is like, "Oh, why, hello there. And what is this charming little game?"
Why, this is a duel, of course. The duel's of first blood.
Oh.
You look, it's quite clear that neither of the participants are bleeding.
Well, yes, because otherwise the duel would have finished.
Even when they lose, no one is bleeding. You realise that they're wearing some sort of like vest or safety shield that's dissipating the energy, or that these weapons are maybe rigged to like turn off when they're in certain proximity of a person.
Well, I'm classically educated, so I know everything of the sword. So, shall we?
Yes, you can take your place in the ring in just a moment. Your opponent has already been selected and is waiting.
Very good. Yeah. Julius gets a sword and, stances up in his fucking evening dress.
Michael, are you doing anything while this happens?
This is seeming like a bit low tech, but I'm assuming that if they've got these beam sabers, there's probably some kind of diagnostic desk around here somewhere, even if it's not immediately obvious.
Yeah, I think you look around and you realise as part of the set dressing, there's like some banners and posters and slogans hung up high up on the walls, and you realise that one of them is probably thin enough for someone to see through. There's probably like a technician's window, basically kind of like a theatre lighting technician's box higher up.
That seems like it would be a good place to try and get to. Is there obviously a way of ingress there? Or, I guess more conveniently, am I within, we've had, wireless connection stuff before. Can I get close enough to that to try and connect to something that they might have in there?
Yeah, I think you could do that.
If I can be surreptitious on my big arm cast, there is a bit that hinges open so I can get better access to the stuff that's in there, and I can close that back down again. And I'm also going to be cheering Paul Bearer on as well, if I need to do an assist.
So with your hacking, what are you trying to do?
So I'm assuming if this is connected to their network at all, this is an in, right? Especially if this is somewhere that's doing tech stuff. There might be some unsecured folders, unsecured access to remote desktop from here into somewhere else, and maybe see if we can get access to another third of this data, like what the guard had, or just general information about what's going on with these Beam Sabers.
Okay.
I guess ideally, in an abstract sense, I'm trying to put ticks in the site control access clock.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you were looking for info or looking to, interfere in Julius's duel.
I trust Julius to kick this person's ass.
Yeah, I would say that is an interface, and I think it is risky instead of desperate because there's a big crowd. But I think it is limited instead of standard because there's a big crowd and they are all using technology.
Sure.
Can I propose something?
Mm-hmm.
Can I use my duel as a help action to be very, very flashy to distract people from looking at Mike?
Yeah, that definitely works.
Cool. I am going to spend my spark to assist a teammate.
Okay.
So, Mike, have 3 benefits.
3 benefits? You'd love to see it.
And if you can push that to great somehow, then we can fill the clock. So
potentially. So I could push myself. That's an option. What are we looking at collateral wise?
Collateral wise, I think we're looking at I tick Vermin Assault again.
I'd put that at halfway. Are we okay with that, team?
Seems apt.
yeah.
Our good friend Vermilion, whatever his last name is flagging vermin agents. So
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Steal.
That gives me a bit more stress to play with when we get to site control or whatever's going on there, right? So, cool. 624.
Yeah. Shit.
What does this distraction look like, Paul? Well, maybe you can describe the fight and then we can come to the conclusions together at the end, right?
Yeah, I don't win. Julius is putting an enormous amount of showmanship into this, right? There's a lot of overconfidence, sort of disdaining the whole affair, right? Just if this is how we're going to do it, right? Puts on a good showing to start off with, right? Lots of big, flashy moves. And then, in the second half, loses in spectacular fashion.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Towards the end, when it sounds like you're setting yourself up for a very spectacular defeat, maybe going in for an all-or-nothing maneuver.
Yep.
You see a discrete eye motion on the part of your opponent, and your Beam Saber switches off.
Oh.
And so you do lose, but not through quite the daring maneuver that you imagined.
Okay.
Cheating? In one of these games? Who would dare?
Yeah, I think you conjecture, you see this person win, you see their score fly up, and you realise, no, this person is just such a dedicated fan, but they're sabotaging other attendees.
Sure. Fine. Whatever. Alright, we got the juice. Let's fucking go.
This is going to be really stressful for whoever's running this tech stuff. So I imagine they're probably not necessarily following best practices for all the stuff. And we've basically been able to get through and get to see a list of the Among Us people, right? Maybe there was a plot point where one of them was going to be involved in this fight. And it's if you see them doing it, maybe it's this. Maybe this is the in-game clue that this opponent was a silver jackal. But for whatever reason, they've got access to this list, and now we do, right?
Yeah, I think between intel on the weapons, bribery, insider information, and actual literal information intended for the attendees, yeah, you've got everything you need to get into Site Quantro.
Alright, let's go. Head back to the tower, flash all of our info.
That was a good fake losing in there, Julius. You managed to make that look real realistic.
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho.
Nothing else to say on that subject.
I think that you see you climb the staircase, we see a door slide open, and we hear a familiar voice begin to say, "Welcome, esteemed guests," as Empress Gold begins to greet you. Meanwhile...
Can I shoot her in the foot?
Well, hold on, are all 4 of you going up?
Are we all? Yeah, are all 4 of us going?
Yeah,
up?
that
I
would
was
make
thinking-
sense, right?
I think
Sorry, go
we
on.
should.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, we need to cut back to True and Ipse. Do you follow Vermilion Steel in doing something about this vermin spy?
I'm curious about this because I don't understand why CalazClash are interested in us tidying up the vermin. I know they're purportedly on other sides of the war, but I also know CalazClash don't like us either.
That is true. I should also mention, I honestly forgot to do something that would be sensible and start a clock for the procession of the evening. I think you are in the final hour before the big midnight reveal. So, Trunda Ipse, are you ditching Vermilion Steel?
I mean, I feel like I should go and...
I kind of want to shake him down. I'm curious as to why Vermilion Steel is attempting to do this.
Okay, how do you do that?
With great violence.
Well, also you want to lure him somewhere private enough to, actually interrogate him.
I don't want to do something that's disingenuous to Don's previous failed role. However, even based on the assumptions from that role, I think it's interesting that CalazClash would be trying to point us at the vermin and not just let us duke it out at the vermin when the vermin are going to come on site, which we know about, which means probably the CalazClash people do too. If Ipse has left or is moving towards that insectoid woman, I want to kind of step up to Vermilion and ask, I'm surprised to find you giving us pointers, Mr. Steele. To my knowledge, we didn't exactly depart on amazing terms last time.
Oh.
Seeing as I carjacked you and all. Took your moment in the spotlight?
Well, you didn't.
What's changed?
You didn't carjack Vermilion Steel. Someone else had already carjacked Vermilion Steel.
That's a good point.
But yeah, you have a vendetta with CalazClash.
Regardless as to what that looks like, I think True is aware to an extent that CalazClash don't like them as a squad.
Yeah. Oh, well, yes. Yes. There's a wink from Vermilion Steel that you don't entirely understand. Well, we've all got to stick together, you understand? And I honestly wanted to ask you the same thing. I was wondering, why are you doing this? I mean, what brings you to this little end of the war?
Well, that's kind of a complicated question. Do you mean this event in particular? Do you mean on Logel?
I think...
Do you mean here, now, talking to you and agreeing with what you're saying?
So basically what's happening is, he is trying to, trade information with you a little bit. So I think the question is, can you get him to open up without accidentally letting anything important slip about you? So I think this is a role.
Interesting. Seeing as we're such good friends and on the same side, can this be a consort?
Sure. Yeah. All right.
I'll accept limited effect for that if you'd like, but I'm detached anyway, so I think it'll be limited effect anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think this is... And you are still desperate, so desperate limited consort.
Okay. I think I'm going to push myself for a change. What does a collateral look like? I could let something slip, regardless.
Yeah, true, that would be interesting. Yeah, I think a collateral could be a loss of trust with the DFS.
Yeah, screw it. I don't care about trust. Everyone else okay with me doing that? I'm gonna... Whoopsie-daisy. Whoopsie-daisy! Well...
That's a 3 and a 2.
I was about to say take that extra dice, but I guess I was a little bit too late.
It does say Desperate Limited on the thing. I think walking it back and saying I get an extra dice is probably a bit disingenuous to the overall thing.
Yeah, potentially. I think as you start talking, you said, True said something about, do you mean what I'm doing here, on Logel, on Hestiol, what do you mean? Vermilion sort of sighs, shudders for a second. I see. Yes, it's, we do have a checkered history, don't we?
I think it's one check in particular. I suppose what I'm concerned about is I last saw you being dragged away by the vermin. It's understandable if you got something personal against him, but still makes me wondering why CalazClash are so interested in us banding together for a mutual foe and so on. Not just letting us tangle it out with the vermin already.
Yes, well, I suppose we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. And you feel a hand land on your shoulder. And then another hand. It say you are on your way to talk to the Spider Woman. You, I presume, notice this and realise True has suddenly been flanked by 2 guards.
Are they associated with this place? Are they in security
that
detail
would also be
outfits?
my question.
This place.
It's probably worthwhile trying to resist that.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
One of the guards sort of mutters under their breath as they, pull you in close, sort of kind of a tight, painful grip, True. Vermilion, I know you. I swear, if this is your shit, if this is your fucking method again, and Vermilion says, no method this time. I promise, no, she's a spy. No, not, and I don't mean the spy, the jackal shit. She's a spy. I'm sorry, I'm not, the vermin didn't turn me. I swear, I didn't know, I only just realised. This whole time, Vermilion thought you were acting weird because you were, like him, playing one of the silver jackals.
Naturally. So, I want to resist with resolve, and the way I do this is I go, Vermilion, I knew you couldn't be trusted. It's people like you who... She kind of gestures slightly at Vermilion. Line? Look, just feed me the line, it's alright. And is going to try and lean into pretending to be an actor.
Especially since you are established as being an actor with some kind of fan base.
Yeah. I have an IMDb page now.
Okay.
I have appeared in one CalazCon event.
He looks at you, just utter bewilderment for a second, looks back at the guards, looks down, looks at Ipsay, then just shakes his head and says, who got the silver jackals into the state of humiliation and we're in now?
Thank you. She kind of nods her head. It's your fault that the silver jackals are in the state that they're in now. People like you make me sick. And she spits dramatically, so it bops on his cheek.
Okay. I think that the guards just roll their eyes, and Vermilion sort of awkwardly shrugs, sorry, I thought I had something, don't worry. Can you roll for that resist? And also, this isn't resisting completely, the alert clock is still on 3 ticks.
That actually scars me out.
Oh my god.
Oh boy!
That's 4 right there. I have been rolling like ass this session.
Damn.
Okay, just double checking. What is that squad ability? What is it called? It doesn't do anything.
It says
you
in
talking about-
combat.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Should have started punching the guards.
I should have started punching the gut. Okay. I do have 2 in prowess as well.
I mean, you're scarred, right? You're out.
Yeah, I know. I just think bad acting is not an interesting way to scar
Oh,
out.
I see.
And I think maybe clocking 2 guards is a more interesting way to do that.
I mean, it could be that the bad acting, maybe this is flagged as you kind of fucking up the event, so, you have people go, no, you and Vermilion, no. This isn't good enough. You come back here, and then you're sort of escorted elsewhere.
Do people think you're getting way too into character and ask you to leave? Do you get so into character that you hit somebody? Is that what's assumed to be happening here?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was also thinking those lines.
Okay, so one of the guards puts their hand on my shoulder. What I instead do is I throw one of them, or topple them over my double base case, then do the funny acting and the spit. And it's Okay, well, great job doing that. That guy does have a broken nose, so we are going to have to politely ask you to leave here. Maybe go to backstage, go into the stupid Disney tunnels, and calm down here, fella.
Yeah. Do you punch one of the guards, or do you punch Vermilion Steel?
I think it's more interesting if it's one of the guards.
Yeah.
I think that's a less soft target.
We get one of the other guards from Vermilion Steel sort of trying to, like, sort of hold you still and, like, wrestle you down. Just be like, they're convinced you're an actor now. They just think that you're a very bad actor. And I don't know if this is too much, but I feel like we just get, like, a shot of that plasma cannon firing in the background, knocking down, like, a cutout mech, like, the ding of the high score mounting up. And as it's doing that, Vermilion Steel is just, like, grabbing you and trying to, like, mutter to you, "It's not real. You're not a spy. This isn't real. Calm down."
Okay, I do kind of want to slap Vermilion Steel, but that's just because it's Vermilion Steel. Yeah, I think I get led away or what have you, encouraged to leave.
Yeah.
I don't love that Vermilion Steel is encouraging me not to method act. I feel like that's a bit hypocritical, but such is life. What are you gonna do?
True. Yeah, I guess everyone has their limits, and, like, maybe Vermilion Steel is just, like, can't handle being on the receiving end, getting a taste of his own medicine. It's all fun to method act until you're the one getting creeped out by it, you know?
It was too method for me, he said on Inside the Actors Studio afterwards.
Ipse, what do you do? Do you rendezvous with Julius and Michael to update them on True's situation as they go up to see Empress Gold?
I can just tell them that while I'm walking over to the insect person, right?
Yes. Just what is your intent with the insect woman if, like, has this given you any doubt over whether to trust Vermilion Steel, what you just saw?
That is a good point. So, I think I'm going to take a softer approach, and I'm going to try and send a coded message to the vermin by talking to this person in character, as it were.
Okay. I am curious what this coded message is like, but I also think, is it fair to say that the coded message just gets no-sold, and this is maybe where Ipse realizes that something is amiss?
Yeah, it is extremely reasonable to do that. I think I still try to channel that energy that Liam was giving off, even though I've just seen these events go down. I just literally walk up straight in front of this woman and go, "I hear the jackals are not the only vermin that are scavenging tonight. But beasts of the night should be careful, for other eyes are watching." And then I walk off. I just leave.
Yeah, I think we just, like, hear in the distance her just talking to a friend, like, Are they okay? And then do we cut to you walking up the stairs with Julius and Michael?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I'm going to go rendezvous.
Okay.
And update them on what happened.
Mm-hmm.
With True, yeah.
There is some concern about stuff happening to True, but we've got to...
Yeah, let's get up these stairs.
Where's Empress Gold?
Yeah, so back to what I hinted at earlier. The door slides open. You hear Empress Gold greeting you, and you are looking at, like, a sort of mounted artillery weapon, kind of like how I described the siege cannon that Sir was installed in. It's like a swiveling turret with a protruding barrel of the weapon, and even miniaturized, this thing is big. Like the comparison to an observatory is apt, but it's also the strangest shaped weapon that you've possibly ever seen. And that's saying something in this setting, really. It's like a large radio dish, but then it's like the radio dish feeds into like a sort of coiled wire in a glass tube. It looks like a sniper rifle crossed with a satellite dish, crossed with some sort of speaker system. And all in total about 20 feet tall. But yeah, there's just like an orderly queue to like line up and like sit in the firing seat. and sat on a chaise longue on one side of a room are Empress Gold and someone who you hadn't expected to see. Sebastian Bangarang is here.
Oh, no.
Is that everyone who's here?
There's a few attendees who've made it in as well. Some people who are very good at social deduction games, apparently. And I think there's probably, like, a couple of guards. I do think that Empress Gold and Sebastian Bangarang are playing the part, like they're immediately beckoning you over to congratulate you.
I'd like to walk over to where Empress Gold is. At some point during this transaction, I guess it's entirely possible that they recognize me, but I think that is possibly made irrelevant when I go in for a hug, take the pistol that has been strapped to my thigh, and put it up to their stomach.
Surreptitiously, or are you going loud?
I think it's surreptitious for now. I think, we don't have to go loud, but we probably will soon.
Okay. What is everyone else doing? I will say you've got, like, a good amount of the intel here. You've learned about absinthe and Bordeaux. I will say the other big thing you've learned about Bordeaux is, how I said you got, like, a fun fact when you did the duel or the shooting or whatever. The fun fact for Bordeaux is just stated casually with, like, no explanation. The scale of the prototype that you have just enjoyed the use of is approximately 50,000 to 1.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for something big.
Yeah.
Very big.
All right. How much more info do we need to get in order for this to be a successful mission? Is it just to get whatever's here at Contro?
Yeah, I would say the big thing you're missing is, like, you can see that the thing at Contro is a big cannon. You don't know what it does. So one of you could try to find out, but it's a question of if you're going to have time or the opportunity, given what Julius is doing.
We would presumably know that this is what Julius is potentially going to do, right? Like,
Yeah, I let everyone know.
Yeah. Shall we see how Julius's thing goes and use that to gauge, like, the opportunity that everyone has? Like, how immediately messed up things are going to go?
well, we might have a little bit of time, depends on how quickly this goes loud, right?
Julius's thing seems very immediate, and I feel like it could just go wrong immediately, in which case there's not much point in discussing, hey, do you want to try the gun? So I feel like we see how Julius's plan goes.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think this is? What's the role here?
Oh, well, I mean, I think the first thing is that I am just going to explain what I want, which is that I would like any information you have on the CalazCon weapon, and I would like to know what it is exactly you're planning here today. Please speak quickly. I have recently taken a wound to the stomach, and let me tell you, it's very unpleasant.
I do not know that walking up to the leader of a, like, tier 4 squad with a concealed weapon as someone who they know to be an enemy, in disguise, but still a known enemy.
I got a blonde wig on.
Walking up to them and getting ready to pull that gun is a risk-free maneuver.
That's fair. Yeah, okay. That's fair.
It could be like a prowl or something,
Yeah, that's
right?
what I was going to say. This does unfortunately sound like a prowl.
No, not a prowl. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm gonna push myself.
Oh dear.
Would you like some help?
I'd love some help.
Who is the person that can help the most?
I can help.
It would be distraction related.
You could just shoot them.
I need information from this bitch.
I'm just saying. Struggle. You could just shoot them.
I need information. I can't just shoot them yet. As much as I'd like to.
You could shoot them in the foot. Or the knee.
Okay, at that point we have a different problem. Right?
Yeah,
like,
that's
let's
a
see
fair
if I
point.
can get any of this and then shoot them in the foot.
I do also regret to inform you
spitefully.
that moving with grace and precision sounds like the sort of thing where having a stomach wound may be relevant.
No. Oh, no. What's a collateral dice, please?
Could someone help?
Yeah, I was going to help. I will assist with this.
Okay.
How many beliefs do you have about me?
2 dots, say.
I still have 1 with Julius.
I mean, if Mike can spare it.
Mike can spare it. This is what I was kind of saving it for. And I think to tie into what we were saying before about Mike having Gearhead, because this is supposedly like top range stuff, right? But presumably it's made from existing components. If Mike starts loudly talking about his understanding of this in a way that is very, had he signed an NDA, which he hasn't, NDA breaching, like, oh yeah, this is how this goes, and like people are going to start making notes about it. A, that's some information for us, and B, it's probably going to be quite distracting for Empress Gold. You know what I mean?
Especially with other attendees around and stuff. If
Yeah.
you start going, oh, you got a Snapdragon processor in there, have you?
Oh, interesting. It looks overclocked as well. Most people wouldn't have seen this, but I can see not only it's been overclocked, but not the whole way. You can tell because of the way that the thermal degradation has gone. Very interesting. It's very loudly talking about what I assume are proprietary secrets and any of that kind of stuff that he can pick out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll take 2 friendship dots and 2 stress points, and then you can have 2 bits there, Julius. That's the best I can do so far.
Okay, so I've got no points in Prowl. And then I'm even worse at it because of being heavily bandaged. So I'm pushing myself. I'm taking a point from Mike. Can I get a collateral dice?
Do you get the feeling there's a reason why we don't do social missions?
I have 2 points in Consort and Command.
Vermin?
I mean, the vermin thing doesn't feel like so much of like a looming. That doesn't feel like it has sufficient weight to it, you know?
Fill it twice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, tick the vermin clock twice. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the vermin are going to attack, is what that means, right? Oh, it's not full.
They're on the verge
that's
of attacking.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We'll just make sure the clock never fills.
that's 2 dice, and then what is my basic position effect here?
I think it is probably desperate standard.
Cool. I'd like it to be risky standards. With 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
This is not all that bad a roll.
You sure you don't want it to be desperate great?
What is great effect here? Am I filling a clock? Is there an Empress Gold clock? Or am I just
super intimidating?
because if this is just a roll to get into position, I don't think I necessarily need the great effect.
Sure.
I think
If that's not metagaming too much.
No, I think that's fair.
That's a 4. See, there it is. It's a 4.
fine.
That's a
That's
4 and a 3.
technically
4-3.
Yeah, I am doing
Only
great.
one desperate consequence to worry about.
Yeah.
No, stop.
okay.
Risky
No, risky.
consequence. Risky consequence.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Apologies.
Yeah. See.
You approach Empress Gold, you sort of move in, and then there's a gasp of realization from them, but it's just before you jam the pistol up against their ribs. They blink. What do you want?
Any information you have on that thing, and I'd like the details of what you're planning tonight.
Well, you know me, I'm very obliging. But couldn't you just wait another 15 minutes? The big reveal's almost here. So impatient.
Gold, I've recently been stabbed in the stomach. It's extraordinarily painful. And I push the gun a little bit farther into their ribs.
Fine. I'll tell you. All this, I know you know we've got something special planned. I'm here to sell the most devoted early birds front row seats and fund CalazClash's little spectacle enough to give the early birds assistant director credits. At midnight, they'll all be dying to pay their life savings, to climb aboard. That thing is a prototype resonance cannon. It vibrates at the resonant frequency of human bone. What I'd like to know is, what good do you think any of this is going to do you? And you feel something slide into your ankle, some sort of hidden blade in Empress's foot, and you feel a numbness spread up your limbs. Take the level 2 harm paralyzed.
I'd like to
that's a
resist
bad
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Power
I'd like to
through.
resist that one.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make a case for insight? What I think this looks like is anticipating that they're about to do some fuck shit with their foot knife and just sort of like kicking it away.
Yeah, at the very least making it a glancing blow.
Yeah.
I think you could take it down to level 1 with that.
Okay, great. Yeah, cool. I don't have any other ways of reducing it, so that's fine. Oh, damn, that does get rid of my healing clock. Damn it. I was really hoping I could maybe hang on to those 3 ticks, but...
How much load have you declared yet?
2 out of 3.
Damn.
Because I had to take one for the pistol.
Wait, don't heroes get, like, some lightweight armor?
How does that work for a foot,
Yeah,
fictionally?
I think the answer is light armor is not a thing that would necessarily cover your foot.
Yeah.
You're wearing steel toe-capped boots.
This
Under your
character is
ball
not
gown.
wearing steel toe-capped boots. This character's wearing heels.
Steel toe-capped heels.
Yep. No, I'm gonna try to, like, just do some fucking... Like, this is just sort of, like, footwork, right? This is a leg sweep. So, I'm gonna roll 2 dice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5. I don't even give a shit. Whatever.
1 stress.
Okay.
1 stress. What's my level 1 harm?
Numb, probably?
Numb is good. Love that. Cool. What do I imagine I will achieve? Well, this is my job. So, does this plan hinge on you? What are you doing here, exactly? This is a very long hug, I think.
Yeah. Empress shrugs and says, I aim to be there to see it. Michael, you suddenly feel someone rush behind you. It's a you watch a guard has taken an angle behind Michael and is moving to grab him from behind. What do either of you do?
Probably intercede, just get myself between Michael and the guard at this point, because this is a very tense situation, and I think things are about to get very bad, so...
Do we see what's happening with Empress, or is this to do with the fact that I'm loudly saying things?
This is to do with what's going on with Empress, yes.
Okay.
I feel like you see Empress's eyes dart over towards the guard as this happens.
Do we know if we've got the info about the weapon at this point?
Yeah, I don't know that Julius has had an opportunity to communicate that.
I meant more in terms of, like, the gearhead aspect of things. Mike might think he's gotten some info from here, at least.
Yeah, I think with Gearhead, you've probably got the broad strokes of what Empress said, that this is some sort of, like, weapon designed to emit a certain sonic frequency. Yeah. Yeah, so it sounds like that's probably a struggle to just, like, tackle this guard down, right?
Yep, that was kind of what I was thinking.
I think that's probably desperate standard.
That is a 4.
Nice.
Shall accept. Yep.
Okay. So you tackle this guard as he gets half of a grip around Michael. You realise only in hindsight that what Empress was trying to do was trying to take a counter hostage to get Julius to back off. That doesn't work. What does happen is that as you knock the guard away, he fires his pistol. Not at you, though. Michael, take the level 3 harm neck shot.
Neck
Ooh,
shot?
that's a bad place to be shot.
That is one of...
That is a bad place.
Yeah.
Can I try and... Oh, I could try and resist this, but I'm pretty full on stress.
Can I protect this on the basis that I'm literally a bodyguarding robot and I would know how not to push someone's arm away to shoot the person I'm trying to protect.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that.
Like, if anything, I'm trying to keep that gun pointed at me because I can probably take it. So
Yeah, alright. Go for it.
cool. So by default, I'd still be taking the same level of harm, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to resist this.
Mm-hmm.
How much gear have you declared?
Nothing yet.
Oh,
So
wow.
you could do body armor, right? So
I have inherent armor for 0
nice.
load to begin with because I'm made of metal. So
that is a very valid point.
Yep. If I resist for harm, does it downgrade it 1 level? And then if
Yeah.
I take armor, does it downgrade it again?
Yeah,
Can do
I
that?
think so.
Can do both? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is the plan then. May as well mark my armor. And then, yeah, so roll stress. What am I resisting with here?
This sounds like a prowess to me. Prowess,
Okay.
or you could make a case for insight, like foreseeing that this would happen, but I think maybe prowess. Yeah.
Yep, happy with that. That's 3 dice basic, and I'm adding 1 because I am protecting someone and I have bodyguard. So there's a 5. I will take that 5. That is fine.
Great.
1 stress.
And take level 1 harm.
You just like grazed, dented.
I was going to say dented. Yeah, dented.
Yeah.
Goes into one of the reinforced parts of the plating. And, yeah, there's a little bullet mark, but it didn't penetrate the armor.
Yeah.
Expired warranty.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say that fictionally the alert clock is full. I don't think there's any
Oh,
way
yeah.
around that.
Gun shooty.
That
yeah.
seems apt.
Okay.
I think Michael was able to put together what was about to happen and realizes what you just did, Ipse, and is very grateful for this. Shocked to have been caught out by this, but yes.
A shot rings out. True, can we get a quick shot of you, wherever you are hearing this gunshot?
So, where I wanted to be was getting into the truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that works.
I could be piped into crew comms or something like that. Maybe that's the easiest way for me to hear it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's partially it. Maybe I still have some of Ipse's HUD on the,
Yeah. It comes over someone's mic, or we go by, like, rules of dramatic anime. You see the muzzle flare in the, like, observatory tower.
I see Mike nearly get shot.
Yeah.
And, yeah. That's fraying. The scar I have taken for true is, haunted, homesick. Which I think is very applicable here.
Yeah.
I don't think she feels like she's making a positive difference by being in this war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, this situation that she left was one of the people who is most important to her nearly getting shot, and someone else catching the bullet because they're far better suited to that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Womp womp.
Alarms are going off. It's a cacophony. People are shouting, running. You can see one of the other guards in the room is headed for you now, Julius, trying to force the issue, just trying to get you away from Empress before you can fire that gun. At the same time, you can hear bright, bold music. You can hear a fanfare below. It sounds like that midnight reveal that they announced is starting. It might be time to leave. What do you do?
Oh, I've got a play if no one else has a play.
Real quick, I want to sort of spin Emperor's Gold around so I am sort of in the classic holding a gun to a hostage's head pose. And I want to say in their ear, are you required for this plan? Because if you are not, then we can be done here.
Julius Thermidor, I'm always required.
Okay, I shoot them in the head.
I was going to say, that
Yeah,
was a stupid thing to say.
That was bad
Even
answer.
I saw that coming.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I meant it as in, like, I'm important, don't kill me. Is the problem. Could you take that line again?
Are you a critical part of this plan, or aren't you? Because if you aren't, we can be finished here.
You need me. More than they do. Goliath is coming whether you want it or not. Whether I live or die.
All right. Well, we are leaving. If anyone wants to prevent us, I will shoot Empress Gold in the head. Do we have the information we need on the weapon? Gentlemen. I guess Ipse isn't gentleman. Would Ipse object to being called gentleman?
I don't think Ipse particularly minds that term.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I feel like I've been in situations before where that gets used as a group.
Yeah, I gotta listen. I have to respect the robot's gender,
Yeah.
even if the robot is a worm.
Do we have the information?
Oh, you certainly do. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, let's go.
I have an exit strategy. We've got a flying mech that we can bring. We're up high. I think with this midnight reveal happening, I guess I could smash open my cast and you do that in a dramatic way. But I've also established that it's in fact, yeah, I'm going to smash it open on the head of the guy that just tried to shoot me in the neck and shot Ipse. Crack, open it goes. Use this as a remote vehicle control and send the Vector Mantis up to where we are, which coincidentally, timing-wise, makes it look like the grand reveal of what is happening is best mech of the DFS, Vector Mantis. I'll have it doing like a really involved routine. I think I can tick off like a spotlight or flare mortar,
yeah.
so I can be dropping like a fireworks display into like I don't know if we could put it in a specific symbol or something like that, but something looks impressive. But it's like, oh wow, what's that? Ooh, it's flying around really fast. And I can also use my spark move, by another name, to push myself a modifying object or to cause a temporary ceasefire and the combatants are awed by the deafness of the craft.
Oh, shit.
Which
Yeah.
I think thematically should distract everyone from what's going on because of this thing looking so sick.
Yeah.
And it can grab some kind of temporary container from anything around here or from where it was originally, which could be a temporary passenger space in line with the weight saving stuff. And then we can jump in there and be transported back to our base. That is my
I
plan.
think that just works. I think, yeah, it goes exactly how you've planned. It looks incredible. And
Yeah.
yeah, the team is spirited away with an interesting hostage.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, we're
do
just
it.
we're just taking them, huh? Okay.
If I presume
I
that was your
forgot about
intent.
that. It is
Just take
now.
them. Cool. Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we would want to foil the whole
Yeah.
plan situation. I don't know if we accomplished that.
Well, specifically, what Empress Gold explained was that their plan was, yeah, to sell the things so that they could get in the good graces of CalazCon. I'd say that you've foiled that one sufficiently. Like, even if they sell the goods, Empress Gold is not there to, like, take advantage.
And there's not been a 12 o'clock reveal. Well, there has, but it's not been the one that they want, right? So
There's also been a kidnapping. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like if Tim Cook gets, kidnapped in the middle of the new iPhone going on sale, they probably don't then sell
Yeah.
the new iPhone right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm.
I'm also pulling away in the truck at the same time, so
Okay.
we'll make a mess of some ilk.
Yes.
yeah, and Michael would also be checking in that True's okay, like whilst this is happening,
Yeah,
whilst this
okay.
things like, True, are you okay? Where are you? We've got an exfil strat.
Yeah. Just to close this out, I think as you leave, you get a buzz from Birdie, the leader of your fire team of toughs. He just says, tune into your comms. The big reveal's up. It's pretty big.
This would be just after the big display that was done, right? So
Yeah, or like you're tuning in like as it happens, so you maybe miss a bit of
Yeah.
it, but you basically catch it. Yeah.
They're still releasing the iPhone.
Yeah, they are.
The big screen at the party changes from whatever it was showing before to an image of an athletic white woman standing on a stage at some other party. Her black hair in a ponytail as she's dressed in cosplay. Likely some incredibly niche character to show off her fan bona fides, though the character likely doesn't have the leafy tattoos reaching up her neck from below her shirt collar. A banner under her on the screen identifies her as Artemis Mayflower of CalazCon. Hello, CalazCon! Wherever you are in the lovely city of Hestiel, make some noise! I know everyone's been having a good time at the parties all this week, but don't take your naps just yet, because we've got something special for all of you. You know that every time we get together, CalazCon puts on a show worth talking about. This year, we've gone above and beyond all of our previous achievements. The screen showing Artemis changes to an aerial shot of the Praxian Plaza Convention Center. It slides smoothly around the building, the view clearly from drones overhead. You can see stalls, AVs, and people spreading out from the center's bulk like ants drawn to a picnic plate. The structure itself is a massive shape with an ovoid floor plan you can clearly see from this high up. The size of the building is necessary so that AVs can be showcased inside the main halls. An office building-like tower rises from the middle of the center, providing any inside a clear view for kilometers. One of Calazar's most famous battles is the three-way battle between the Hope of Calazar, Horizon Blue, and Goliath. I'm sure many of you have seen Calaz Clash's Horizon Blue on display, and a few of you have taken a very special interest in the Hope of Calazar. She pauses for the audience's laughter at her acknowledgement of the vermin's success. But what about Goliath? Have we converted a bunker-type T? Maybe cobbling together parts from a few different AVs? No. We've partnered with Jacob's Junkers to make something incredible. The ground beneath your feet shakes as an earthquake rumbles around you. On the screen, the human and AV ants flee from the convention center as cracks appear in the concrete around the building. A series of explosions spew dust and debris into the air, concealing the structure. As this happens, the metal side paneling on the tower section shifts to different areas, revealing a darkened alcove on either side. A series of massive shapes rise out of the dust cloud, their appearance being immediately followed by 6 crashing booms, and then the convention center stands up. As the arms slide into place from the side of the tower, a head similar to a barbute-style helmet rises from the top of the building. 4 Jovangelian Swan air transports painted with Calazar colors fly into frame, carrying a pair of massive cannons into place above the convention center's shoulders, while numerous panels all over its body open up, revealing a multitude of weaponry. The camera switches back to Artemis with a huge smile on her face. It is my pleasure to present to you our 1-to-1 scale, fully functional Goliath. Tickets are now on sale for front row seats inside Goliath as it does battle against Horizon Blue and the Hope of Calazar. Get yours now while supplies last.
Piss.
Are we back and we're back and leaving at this point?
Yes. In fact, well, in some ways I think that because I think this is happening live, so I think you see the convention center stand up when it happens on the broadcast on the horizon, not too far from you.
Folks, I think we've confirmed the presence of a superweapon.
I don't think we get a ton of reaction from Julius because he is still pointing a gun at another person, and that requires a lot of concentration.
And I think Ipse is typically hard to read, but if anything, just tightens up their faceplates in a look of focus.
Momentarily, there's a shot of the convention center mech abomination through the red tint of Longreach's scope. And then I think True just sighs and sheaths the rifle and continues flying back towards the end of the line. I guess while it's still standing because of the Abomination Convention Center mech.
As much as Mike is, from a tactical perspective, is concerned about this, the part of Mike that really loves mechs is very impressed by this, and he actually gives Empress a kind of he's giving a nodding look. It's like, that's actually pretty impressive.
I think Empress Gold smirks and says, "Good luck."
Well, you know what they say, Empress. You don't need luck if you're good.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited and sound balanced by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at cvblight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find them on all social media at Devin Decibel. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.